Do you need to send a proposal to a client but don't know how? In this video, I'm going to show you how to do just that using Bonsai, which is a completely free tool to use. Hey, it's Arnau, a freelance graphic designer helping you take your freelancing to the next level. If you're new here, consider subscribing. If you haven't watched the last video of my Bonsai series, consider watching it here because it explains a lot more about Bonsai and also invoice payments, which can really help you in your freelancing career. So the first thing you're going to want to do is sign up to Bonsai. Now I've covered this in the previous episode, so I'm not going to go over it. And the first thing you're going to want to do is when you get to your actual dashboard, you arrive to this. So if you want to send a proposal and create a proposal, the first thing you need to do is go to the Proposals tab. Once you're there, it'll allow you to create a proposal based on templates that they have, like design and writing, or you can create your own completely from scratch. What we're going to do in this episode is actually create one from a template so that it's easier for us and we can actually manage what we were writing about. So I'm just going to click Sample Client, name it My Awesome Sample Project, and I'm going to use a design template. So the first thing you see when you actually create the new proposal is this page, which is your completely new and easy to use proposal made by Bonsai. You can change your logo and header. You can also create your own address, your email, and your client's email and address. Now this will be useful if you have to physically send it to them via a letter or a PDF if you want to email it to them, for example. So we're going to do just that. We're going to add our own address. And we're going to also add their address. You can also add a recipient. So if this person has a coworker they've been working with and you want to send it to them as well, then you can do that. And once that's done, we can actually focus on the meat and the bones of the actual proposal. So the first thing that we see is context and objectives. Now here's where you're going to want to line out what the point of the proposal is and what you're actually trying to achieve with this. Now this is extremely important to get the basis right off the bat so you have no mix-ups in the actual project. So in this proposal that Bonsai gives us, we have an objective, which is the team aims to break from their existing positioning and display the refined values behind their product and also increase interest and conversion rates from visitors. We can obviously change this to whatever we want. So I'm just going to add a fourth one and I'm going to add an example. So for example, create a new product to expand market value. In the next section, you can lay out your own objectives. So what are you actually being hired to do? This is where you want to be as specific as possible because then you have no confusion when the project is going on and you can just reference this and say, hey, I was actually hired to do this, not this. So the example that Bonsai gives us is build a new homepage design based on their clients' requirements and build a standard page design template to be used by the marketing team for adding new content. These are fine, but I don't think it's specific enough for what I want to do, so I'm going to add my own. So I'm going to add build a completely new and original website for the client, must be in their color presets, cannot deviate from their original idea. Now this is extremely specific and so I can't deviate from the original idea and I can't use anything that isn't other than their color presets. So I have to stick with that. And then I can also add, for example, that the final deliverable has to be in PSD or in a PNG and wherever I want to give it to them in. The next part is the timeline. So how long is it actually going to take you to complete this project? It's incredibly important to really line out what the project is going to do and how long it's going to take to do each step. In Bonsai's proposal, they allow us to change a few things so we can edit this timeline here where it's a 4-week split in 2 phases. So what that means is the first phase is going to involve 2 weeks and the second phase is also going to involve 2 weeks. Within that you have a product and discovery and mockups in the first one and final design and the completion of the project in the second phase. Now that's completely standard and we can go on with that. The next part is one of the great things about Bonsai, where you can actually give your client multiple options on how they want to buy your service. Now this can be a single option or multiple choice. So for example, if you have multiple packages, you can do that. If you have a single package, you can choose that as well. So if you have a bronze, a silver, and a gold tier, then they can pick whichever they prefer. So we're going to go with that exactly. We're going to go with the package. And from here, it gives us a few options. We can change the title of the package, obviously. So we're going to do bronze. We're going to leave the description as is because you can obviously add your own. And then the item name. So bronze design website. And we're going to do 1. And this is actually going to cost $1,500. So that is the completely basic thing that they can buy. Then we're going to add another option. And we're going to name it silver. And so we're going to do the exact same thing. So bronze design website, $1,500. But this time we're going to give them the option of social media management. So we're going to do that. and we're going to charge them a one-time $500 fee. We need to add in our units, so we're doing this once, and that becomes our silver tier. But we're going to add one last thing. So what this is going to let us do is if they want to pick this last thing, it's not necessarily necessary for them, but it allows us to increase our profit margin. So we're going to do, for example, logo design and branding. We're going to do this once, and we're going to charge them $1,000 for this. Now this leads our final total to $3,000. Lower tier was $2,000, and the first tier was $1,500. So this gives them 3 options from which they can pick from. A basic one, a little bit more expensive, which is the silver, and then an extreme version, which is the gold. In the last section, you can actually write a little bit about you, but you can also add many more things. So Bonsai gives us this example, which is as a freelancer market for the last 7 years, blah, 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 blah. So we can add this to our own story and what we actually bring value to the clients for. You can also add some testimonials, for example. And lastly, another thing that we can do is we can click this green arrow, which allows us to so if we want to add, for example, the original brief that was given to us, we can do that. If we want to add a mock-up that the client asks us to do, we can do that, for example. But we're not going to do that for now because obviously you would add your own. Now we're going to actually send this as an example, but we're actually going to add our image first. So now that we have our profile picture, it's ready to send. We can preview it first to see how it would look like when we actually send it to the client. And we have the fee summary. Now this is going to let you see when they picked an option. So we have bronze, silver, and gold. We can show and hide details about each option. So we can see that the silver gives us the bronze design website and social media management. We can see that the gold gives us everything plus logo design and branding. I think I'm going to select the $2,000 version because that fits my budget. Now that we can see that it says selected, and this would mean that the client picked that option. Just in case you wanted to file it in your computer or you wanted to print it out and actually send it to them. So this is what that would look like. It's a completely generic PDF that you can send, and they can obviously pick and choose what option is best for them in person, I guess. So last thing we're gonna do is actually send the proposal. And here we can add a little message to the client saying, I'm extremely excited to work with you. Let me know if you have any questions, something like that. We can also send this via a link, but I'm just gonna send it directly to their email. And that concludes our tutorial for Bonsai and freelancer proposals. Now, if you have any questions, do let me know down below. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you liked the video. If you want to see more Bonsai or freelancer tips and tricks, click the upcoming videos now because I have a complete series on it and I'm working on a lot more videos. Thank you so much, guys. I'll see you in the next video.